Today we're going to be talking about obesity in reptiles. This is Jaffa, and I'm Brandon, and welcome to BJG Reptiles. Many people believe that MBD, or metabolic bone disease, is the most common illness or disease in reptiles. But in actual fact, it is obesity. Jaffa is a prime example of this. Obesity occurs for a few different reasons. Some of these reasons include, but are not limited to, being overfed, not being able to exercise enough, being fed incorrect diets, or being fed too big of meals, and many more reasons. Now, Jaffa here is actually a little bit overweight. Now, this is because she was being fed too often. I was under the impression that she got fed once a week. Now, due to human error, I have learned that she needs to be fed once every 2 weeks. She's starting to lose weight nicely, but she has still got a few little fat marks, as you can see, some stretch marks. That's fine. Currently, I'm actually feeding her a relatively varied diet. So 1 week she gets a medium mouse, and then 2 weeks later she gets a large mouse. This is just because I don't want to, starve my snake. She is used to large meals, so I don't want to, just shove her onto mediums. Now, there are a few ways to tell if your reptile is overweight. One of them, like I said, is having the little fat marks, the little stretch marks. For instance, in Jaffa here, she obviously has these, it's hard to see on the camera, but almost imperfections in her scales where it looks like she's being set and her rock's being stretched in her, but it's not, it's just fat. But also in stuff like monitors, you don't want the bellies to be touching the floor. That's a sign of obesity. Yeah, it's not ideal, but it is relatively easy to acknowledge if you do know what you're looking for. Now, if your snake is overweight, you need to look at doing some of these things. Now, number one is space out your feeds. So like I'm doing with Jaffa here. If you're feeding once a week, maybe feed once every 10 days or once every 14 days, so once every 2 weeks. This will help your snake maintain a healthier weight. It will also help her lose the weight, or him, in a healthy manner. You're not just going to be starving your animal. Number two, if you're feeding a lizard, for instance, a blue-tongued skink, you might want to look into the food you're actually feeding them, because maybe you're feeding them an adequate amount, but maybe the food you are feeding them has too much protein or too much fat, or sometimes you don't want to feed an animal too much fruit if it doesn't need all of that. Jesus, Jaffa, what are you doing? She's so stupid. Yeah, that needs to be looked into. If you are doing something wrong, that's fine. Everyone makes mistakes, but you need to change that. Now, number three, change the size of the animal's meals. So this works in the same way as spacing out feeds. However, do your research before giving your animal too little. As I've said, you don't want to starve your animal. Obviously, if you've got a leopard gecko, you don't want to be changing their meal to 4 small locusts every time you feed them. If you were feeding them 4 extra larges, maybe knock it down to 3 extra larges rather than 4. This will help your animal stay at a healthy weight, and it won't make them too skinny. You don't want to go too underweight. And finally, so fourth, give your animal room to move. So make sure your vivarium is an adequate size. Make sure that you do your research on that, because every animal needs something different. Some of them are arboreal, they might need places to climb. Coral snakes like this are terrestrial, so they need a bigger land to crawl around. I see Jaffa here hidden quite a lot, so maybe she doesn't need a 6-foot viv, but a 3 or a 4-foot viv would be good. Also, if you're able to hand your animal, like I am with Jaffa, do that. So, for instance, my ball pythons all get handled at least once a week so that they keep exercising and they don't put on too much weight. You can also do stuff like enrichment, so this works especially with lizards and monitors. If you can maybe do an obstacle course or ball train them and motivate them with some food, get them to do something and work for their food, that will also help them lose weight. We'll do it in a healthy manner, you won't just be starving them, and yeah, it will improve their lifestyle, it'll improve your representation in the hobby and how you actually look after these animals. I am working on it myself. I've made mistakes. Obviously, previous owners have made mistakes with this snake too. I'm not blaming them though, this is my fault, I didn't know. But yeah, I hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I shall see you next time. Goodbye.